People say Bitcoin is too slow for everyday payments. 10 minutes per transaction. Dollar fees, useless at the till. They're right about the base layer, but they don't know what's running on top of it. I'm Sats, and today we're making the Lightning Network actually make sense. Let's keep it simple. First, the problem. Because Lightning only makes sense once you feel it. Bitcoin's main blockchain handles around 7 transactions per second. Visa handles 24,000. Every Bitcoin transaction waits roughly 10 minutes for confirmation. During busy periods, fees climb as users compete for space. For moving large amounts of Bitcoin, fine. 10 minutes and a small fee is a fair trade for a permanent, irreversible settlement. For buying a coffee, nobody is waiting 10 minutes at the counter. Here's the thing most people miss. That's not a flaw. It's a choice. Bitcoin's base layer was built to be maximally secure and decentralized. Speed and cheap fees weren't the goal. Trustworthy and tamper-proof was. That trade-off was intentional, and it was the right call. But everyday payments still need to happen, and that's exactly the problem Lightning was designed to solve. Here's the core idea, and it's simpler than it sounds. Think about running a tab at a bar. You don't pay for every drink individually and wait for the bartender to record each one permanently. You open a tab. Drinks happen throughout the night. The balance is tracked between you and the bar. When you leave, you settle once. One final transaction recorded. Lightning works the same way. 2 people open a payment channel by locking some Bitcoin into it. Payments flow back and forth instantly, almost for free, without touching the blockchain at all. Every payment updates the balance between them. When they're done, the channel closes and the final amount settles on the main Bitcoin blockchain. Fast. Cheap. Real Bitcoin. Just settled differently. Now here's where it gets interesting. You don't need a direct channel to everyone you want to pay. This is the part that changes everything. Lightning payments route through other people's channels automatically. If you have a channel with a coffee shop, and that coffee shop has a channel with a supplier, you can pay that supplier directly through the coffee shop's channel without ever setting one up yourself. The network finds the path, like GPS routing around traffic without you doing anything. That makes Lightning a network, not just a link between 2 people. Thousands of nodes, hundreds of millions in payment capacity, routing payments between anyone connected to the system. The result: milliseconds to settle, fractions of a cent in fees, no waiting, no miners. Real Bitcoin. Now the honest question, if it's that good, why isn't everyone on it? Because it's still early, and it's worth being straight about that. Opening a Lightning channel requires an on-chain transaction upfront. Managing channels is still more involved than tapping a card. If a channel runs low on capacity in one direction, a payment can fail and reroute. And that's improving fast, but it's not invisible yet. Apps like Strike, Cash App, and Wallet of Satoshi have made Lightning usable without needing to understand any of this. But compared to your debit card, there's still a gap. Here's the bigger picture though, and this is worth sitting with. The argument that Bitcoin can't work for everyday payments is becoming less true every year. Lightning is live and growing. El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, partly because Lightning made small everyday transactions viable. Across Latin America, Africa, and parts of Southeast Asia, people are using it to send money across borders for fractions of what traditional services charge. This is how it all fits together. Bitcoin's base layer is the settlement layer. Secure, slow, permanent. Lightning is the payment layer. Fast, cheap, instant. They aren't competing, they work as a pair. The base layer handles the big stuff. Lightning handles the small stuff. It's the same model the traditional financial system runs on. Central bank settlement for the large stuff, card networks for the everyday. Bitcoin is building that same architecture from scratch. No central authority, no permission needed. All right, let's bring it together. The Lightning Network is a payment layer built on top of Bitcoin. It enables instant, near-free transactions by opening payment channels between users. Payments happen off-chain. Only the final settlement hits the Bitcoin blockchain. Payments route through the network automatically. You don't need a direct channel to everyone you want to pay. Lightning is live and growing, though the experience is still maturing. Bitcoin's base layer handles security and large settlements. Lightning handles speed and small payments. Together they make Bitcoin both a store of value and a practical payment network. If you want to understand how Bitcoin's main blockchain works before going deeper on Lightning, the video on what happens when you send Bitcoin explains the whole thing from scratch. Watch that next. Stack smart, stay curious. See you in the next stack.